All right, let's give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Stone. Shalom to all the true worshippers that worship in the spirit and in the truth, to wake up the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, this is the brother Ahmad from the GMS Jamaica Kingston camp, back with another few minutes of truth. All right, and the truth is, we told you, we've been telling you the truth, and you would not hearken, yo. We've been telling you the truth, and you would not listen. All right, we told you so. You know, nobody likes that person that says, "Yeah, I told you." We, the hopeful elect, you know, the prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai are going to gladly and laughingly tell you, "Hey, we told you." Yeah, you didn't want to listen. All right, they called us the fools, yo, just a few years ago during the pandemic. They called us fools and conspiracy theories. All right, say that we were spreading disinformation, misinformation, malinformation, all these information, all these types of information, right? When they were the ones lying to you people, and we were the ones telling the truth, yo. All right? So without further ado, I'm gonna play a little of this video, and then we're gonna get into some precepts. We're gonna get into an article or a so-called study. All right, Lord's willing, this lesson will be edifying and straight and to the point.
This process, and this isn't how I intended it for you. Shut up! You are all hysterical vaccine deniers. You are killing people's grandmothers. Many of you will have seen the British Prime Minister and former Moderna investor Rishi Sunak pilloried on a TV news programme by someone who themselves said that they're suffering from vaccine injury. It seems that the evidence is mounting at such a rate that it's become unignorable. I spoke recently with Pierre Corey, and you can see that interview in full on our channel, who was one of the people who very early on in this pandemic period raised the alarm about the nature of these treatments. This information has been available for some time. I'm fascinated to see how this is going to play out now that it's permeating these spaces.
Foster's still digesting the new data released by the Global COVID Vaccine Safety Project, which studied nearly 100 million vaccinated individuals across 8 countries. The report specifically looked at the adverse effects of the Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca vaccines, finding the following. The study links vaccines to slight increases in neurological, blood, and heart-related conditions like myocarditis, pericarditis, and Guillain-Barré syndrome.
What I suspect is happening here is that there has become increasing cynicism about vaccines.
And this point he's making right here, I want everyone to listen to this point he's making right here. Well, to continue listening to this point and don't let go of it as we go through the article, aka the study.
More broadly, and perhaps the medical establishment and pharmaceutical industry as a whole, and that a measure has had to be undertaken in order to mitigate unprecedented cynicism. Because prior, if you recall, to the pandemic, companies like...
In other words, to say it in a more layman's term, because there has been so much doubt in the poison from the beginning of this whole controversial event, they are now, because the information cannot be hid anymore, because information is being revealed and coming to light, and they cannot reject it or deny it, or even say that people are spreading lies. Now that they cannot depend on those old tired tactics, you know, they have to do what? Damage control, yo. Damage control. And that's what this study, or this so-called study, is all about. you know, from my perspective, what I can understand from reading between the lines and just looking at the wordings that they use, yo, it's all about damage control. Because it's not like this. People haven't been speaking out. Professionals, scientists, and doctors been speaking against this thing, this poison, yo.
Like Pfizer were regarded with a good deal of suspicion. We're coming off the back of the opioid crisis that revealed that pharmaceutical companies, and in particular Purdue Pharma, put their profits ahead of the well-being and welfare of their customers, were willing to influence, bias, manipulate physicians in order to prescribe medications that they knew were dangerous. That showed us a template that we could have observed at the beginning of this pandemic. Now that that template appears to have been repeated, if not to such an extreme degree, I would say this is a strategy to manage the growing and, I would say, warranted mistrust of an entire industry.
And I think what this study confirmed is pretty much what other smaller studies have said in the past. And that's the following. Number one, vaccines have risks. I think only a fool would say vaccines don't have risks.
Where was that kind of reasoned, balanced conversation at the time? Forgive me if I seem hyperbolic and outraged and evangelical. It simply disgusts me to a degree to see this information now framed in the spaces that were so obedient and compliant and propagandizing during that period, and who contributed to whatever number it was, and, you know, stay tuned, that were detrimentally affected by the propaganda and the unwillingness to have open discourse at the time when it was most relevant.
Dr. Jonathan Cantor, who's an adjunct scholar at the Penn Center for Clinical Epidemiology and Biostatistics, reviewed the study. Cantor says the new research shouldn't erode anyone's trust in the vaccine, but instead prompt them to think about their own personal medical condition.
Oh, think about your own personal. Do you remember how many times you watch dancing, vaccines, musical numbers? This isn't about you. You're socially irresponsible. And when people went, has it been clinically trialed for transmission? You're a conspiracy theorist. Now, where they're getting to is where we were like 2 or 3 years ago. So,
You know, that's exactly right, yo. When people had their doubts, you know, when people had their questions, you know, they were shamed for it, yo. They were shamed, verbally and physically abused for it, you know. So and now they're saying that, you know, this should be something open and something we can talk about. You can talk about it with your doctor to see if it is right for you and all these things. This is what people have been saying years ago when you first came out with this thing that you was emergency, was allowed under an emergency act, yo. All right, but the Pfizer documents, and it's something that I went over like a year ago, or almost a year ago. You know, I did a little research into it, you know, just to get the gist of it, not too in depth, but just to get the gist of it. I'm not a scientist, you know, but that documentation, you know, revealed that they knew about all the adverse effects. They knew about all the side effects, everything that would occur, because it happened in the clinical trials, yo. But it was ignored. They literally paid off who they needed to pay off so that they would get indemnity or immunity from being prosecuted. These companies cannot be prosecuted for any injuries sustained after using the damn poisons, yo. So that should have raised red flags for all these people that are so wise, man, so smart. But they're too smart for their own good, yo. And this is the, let's see, this is the, yeah, this is the study right here, you know. And I went through it, and we're gonna go through it, maybe not all of it, yo, you know, as fast as possible. But there are some key things in here, yo, that shows you their strategy, you know. and how far they were willing to go, yo. And it shows you their freaking agenda, man. It shows you their agenda, yo. But before I say anything, I'm gonna read a little. Let's get into it, all right? So this study, and this is this science alert, all right? For those who trust science so much. Largest COVID vaccine study ever reveals the actual health risks you face. No shit. The largest global vaccine safety study has linked COVID-19 I'm going to be saying this word a lot, man, and I want to avoid that a little. Probably doesn't even matter, you know. Has linked COVID-19 juice with small increase in health conditions. Small. Listen, take the word in right off the bat. Small increase in health conditions involving the brain, blood, and heart. How can something health conditions involving brain, blood, and heart be small, yo? The international team of researchers emphasizes that the chances of getting any of these conditions are still very low. See, it's this study or this is all about damage control, and they're gonna downplay it every moment that they get. They're gonna insert downplaying language inside of this thing. Yo, I've read it before. So it says, read that again. The international team of researchers emphasizes that the chances of getting any of these conditions are still very low. It's important to note that the extensive research shows COVID-19 juice protect against serious illness, death, and long COVID symptoms. It doesn't stop you from spreading. What the hell is the point of it? And it definitely don't cure it. So what the hell is the point of it? What are they saying right here? Protect against serious, you know. Anyways, across just under 100 million COVID-19 C19 juice people in 8 countries, potential links called safety signals were identified by comparing observed rates of 13 specific conditions. Yeah, and even the wording right there, safety signals. Or why not concerns, safety concerns, safety risks. That's what it is, risk. And a risk is potential danger, or danger itself, man. It's danger itself that you can see. All right. So it says 13 specific conditions followed vaccination to what we'd expect to see based on prior rates. Whoa. So based on prior rates, there were 13 specific conditions following vaccination, which they expected. But I thought they advertised that this shit was 100% safe. Listen to the wording, people. Read between the lines. It says, to what we'd expect to see based on prior rates, prior investigation or study or trials, right? Or background risk. Even that term right there that they come up with, I've never heard it before until I read this. Background risk. All right. Something background is dealing with something that you don't pay attention to. You see me? In this context, something that you don't pay attention to, that is not as important. See, and risk is dealing with the danger, something that can cause danger or injury, right? So these are not something, what they're saying, this is something that's not as important, that you don't have to pay much attention to, that might cause danger or risks, all right, or injury. So it says, of the conditions, the rates that these conditions are expected to occur in the absence of the C19 juice. The risk up to 42 days after juicing was generally similar to the background risk for the majority of countries. The author, now let's, because that's hard, maybe hard to swallow. All right, they, based on their trials, their clinical trials, all right, based on their research, because they had to do some form of testing, whether it was rushed or whatnot, whether they, but based on all of that, they had prior knowledge of and expectation of these adverse reactions and side effects. That's what this is saying to you, people. For those who don't understand, yo. So if somebody died from it, they expected that. Watch this now. He said the authors say their multi-country analysis confirmed pre-established links between COVID-19 vaccination and the low risk of myocarditis, pericarditis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, and cerebral venous sinus thrombosis. Wow, wait till you get into these symptoms or adverse reactions or side effects. These, each side effects can be a main character or a main villain in the Marvel universe, yo, or in Batman or in Superman. Each of these freaking side effects can be a main villain in any blockbuster movie, yo. In a, whether it's Transformer or any superhero freaking movie, yo. Each of these can be the main duppy in a duppy show, yo. And we soon get into two of them, yo, a few of them. So it says, but the enormous size of the study also meant there was a higher chance of them spotting rarer rarer adverse reactions, risks, or rarer dangers, not to say there wasn't already danger, but something that could be that they had overlooked or missed or purposely didn't published, I would say, of them spotting rarer safety signals that prior studies may have missed. Since the and this paragraph right here, you can read for yourself. It's, to me, wasn't relevant to this whole article. So it says down here, juice rollouts usually identify common and moderate side effects after excluding dangerous ones during clinical trials. Juice rollouts usually identify common and moderate side effects after excluding dangerous ones during clinical trials. But up here, the previous trials, like they were revealed that these things could have happened already. That these things were happening, not just could, but were happening, were a result, which were myocarditis, pericarditis, the Guillain-Barré syndrome, and so on and so forth. So is that what they're calling common and moderate side effect? Main villains, yo. Them are called henchmen. Alright, yo. Let me get something, yo. Let me get something. I have something here. I want to finish with that one, yeah. Nope. Oh man, not what I want to get. Hold on. Not what I want to get. We'll come back to that. Luke, yo. Luke 12. I want to get Job 13 and 4, yo. It says, but ye are forgers of lies. Ye are physicians of no value, man. Alright? These words are all being forged in a way and manipulated in a way to, while they're revealing these information, to make people think it's still, they're still trying to lead people into a false sense of security, to depend on them, that they are dependable still after these mishaps, deliberate mishaps, yo. The Pfizer documents reveal the deliberate mishaps, things that were ignored so that they could roll out and make some big bucks, yo, make some money, make that cheddar, yo. The people that make these things are physicians of no value. They're not curing anyone. What's the point of these things, yo? They're not extending, but they're shortening your life. So what's the point of these things? Right here it says, this unparalleled scenario underscores the pressing need for, as in, they're saying it's unique. Because while I was reading this, I was just looking up words, even words that I already knew, just to see how they used it, you know, what they could mean, in what context. And this word unparalleled right here is saying it's a unique scenario, man. Special scenario. How can it be unique and special if you already experienced it during the clinical trials? The trials already reveal it, yo. Your tests, all of that, reveal that people would get myocarditis. People would even die. People died in the trials, yo. People died in the trials. Research the Pfizer documents. Research the Pfizer documents. You don't have to listen to me. Research the Pfizer documents. But the prophets been saying these things that they're telling us right now. That's why we say, have faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's the Lord's true name. In the name of his sons. His son, his only begotten son, his true name, which is Yahweh Shai. Have faith in them, yo. They will carry us through pestilence, yo. They will carry us through diverse earthquakes, war, famine. They will carry us through it all, yo. They will protect us, guide us. Tell us where to go next. Tell us what to do next. Tell us what to say next. People trust in these in these things, man. Trust in a Babylon. Trust in a Egypt, yo. And this is what they get for it. They get they're being destroyed, man. Just listen to these freaking this thing, man. Listen, let me get one. Let me get Isaiah real quick. Isaiah. Woe, 31 and 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel. They trust not in the Lord, yo. So why we shouldn't trust them? Neither seek the Lord. Now I want to get one that says Bruce Reed. Give me a sec. Find it. Okay, let's get this. Isaiah 30 and 1 says, woe to them, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of me, but not of my spirit. And that's what you do when you choose these poisons, man, from the enemy, you know, from these people that obviously don't want you to benefit, don't want you to live, that are obviously just calling the damn population, you know. But not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. You know, America is Mystery Babylon the Great, and it's spiritual Egypt, man. It's spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah all over again, yo. That's the comparison being shown right here. And you people trust fully in Babylon. You people trust fully in Egypt. Trust in the strength of Pharaoh and his witchcraft, yo. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that is what is happening right now with this revealing of the truth, yo. The truth is coming, is surfacing, yo. The truth cannot be hid. The truth cannot be hid. That brings me to Luke 12 and 2. It says, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So all this, you see this article or so-called study right here. This is all just to mitigate the damage that has been done and is going to be done. And when they are bringing out or rolling out their next pandemic, their next disease, and their next solution for it, in order to keep people trusting in Egypt. Seeing? They are just using this on their platform and all this their this to damage control, so that people will still cling to them so they can make more money off of killing us, yo. That's it. Let me continue with this. It's a very interesting thing, yo. Their study sought safety signals observed within 42 days after receiving the viral vector vaccine or the mRNA vaccine. Watch this, health data sets from before the C19 juice were used to determine the rates of these conditions. So it was already determined by prior rates, by prior knowledge, by prior data collected from other trials, previous trials. Determine the rates of these conditions that were expected in the general population. So they already knew what was going to happen. How much more can myself or the prophets spell it out for you? We told you so, yo. We told you that they were killing you, man. We told you their plan and you people never listen, yo. We told you. The rates determine, look up that word, man, determine the rates of these conditions that were expected in the general population prior to vaccine rollout. They already knew what was going to happen to you people. Knew some of you was going to die. Knew some of you was going to be crippled in half of your face. You can't use it. Knew some of you going to not be able to think properly. We're gonna get into some other stuff to explain what I'm talking about right there if you don't already know. Right? The general population prior to vaccine rollout and the observed rates were derived from the same data set. The observed rates were derived from the same data set after vaccination. In the wake of viral vector vaccine, the team discovered a statistically significant rise in cases of Guillain-Barré syndrome. Side effect, right? Let's touch it. Let's see what it says. Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS, is a rapid onset muscle weakness caused by the immune system. So the immune system look like it start to attack your muscles to blood clot, damaging the peripheral nervous system. Damaging. Never say that I put it to sleep or in a trance or send it go nervous system go on vacation and then it'll come back. It say it got damage it. These are long-term side effects, yo. Damage the peripheral nervous system. Typically, both sides of the body are involved, and the initial symptoms are changes in sensation or pain, often in the back, along with muscle weakness beginning in the feet and hands, and yada 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 yada. There you have it. Right? A rare immune system disorder that affects nerves within the group that had these vaccines. 66 cases were expected, were already determined because they had prior knowledge, because they had done their research and their tests to know this shit is bullshit. And 190 were observed. So you hear that? They expected 66, but 190 were observed. Come on, yo. We told you so, yo. This increase was not after mRNA juice. Right? I think now is the appropriate time. Nope. No. Where is it? Yeah. Ezekiel 33 and 33, it says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. We've been telling you guys who we were, and we've been giving you evidences. We in ourselves are evidences, because the Lord says the gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world in the last days. And we warned you and you all didn't listen, yo. But now you know that the prophets are among you, yo. Continuing, it says, following the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, there was a 3.2 times greater than expected risk of cerebral venous sinus thrombosis. What a long ass name. Let's see what it do. Is CVT for short, is the presence of blood clot. This must can call to memory people coming across information and videos upon videos of blood clots like a motherfucker inside being found after persons die, yo, who have taken the CV juice, yo. Blood clots being found in every single one of these persons that have died, all right? And after they've taken the CV19 juice. The CV19 juice is supposed to save them, but they died. And these are all young effing people, yo. Young freaking people. So they're now telling us what we've been telling you people from the start, yo. Do never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. Is the presence of a blood clot in the dural venous sinuses, which drain blood from the brain. That's a side effect. Something that drains blood from the brain. The cerebral veins are both. Symptoms may include severe headache, visual symptoms, any of the symptoms of stroke, such as weakness of the face and limbs on one side of the body, and seizures, which occur in around 40% of patients. 40% of patients get CVST and you decide to give this to people, physicians of no value, yo, workers of iniquity, yo, devils, they're effing devils, yo. All right, where am I? All right, say cerebral venous sinus thrombosis, a type of blood clot in the brain observed in 69 events. 69 persons, man. The people aren't events, yo. They just shit that happen, yo. Their lives, man. Compared to an expected 21. So they expected 21 of these thrombosis. 69 happened. Yo, this is unbelievable. The risks were 1.49 times higher after the Pfizer vaccine's first dose and 1.25 times higher after second dose. All right. In March 2021, some countries in Europe suspended the AstraZeneca C19 juice after observed versus expected analysis identified thrombosis with the analysis found a high risk of heart inflammation called myocarditis. And I remember when I learned about myocarditis, I did a lesson on it. You know, though YouTube pushed that video, probably get like 3 views. At least the Lord I watched. After mRNA vaccines with observed rates highest after a second dose of Moderna's vaccine. Vaccine instructs cells to produce a protein that resembles SARS. So, the vaccine instructs your body to make the virus. Isn't it? So your body can see it and recognize it. And then fight it. And like I understand the whole concept, you know, that if your body, cause the body is amazing, it's an amazing piece of machine that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has made, yo. Cause your body once it gets something, it will never forgets. It's filed somewhere and it never forgets, and it once when that thing returns, it will immediately recognize it as danger and deal with it real quickly. So that's what they're trying to take advantage of, but they're doing it in a wrong way, and they're killing people, man. Simple as that. All right. And if they can tell our bodies to make these things, you know, make that, what else can they tell our bodies to do, man? Make cells that clog up the heart. Make cells that clog up certain parts of the body, bloodstream, or cells that damage the brain, yo. Come on, man. You people don't see this as this is a freaking bioweapon, yo. You people don't see this. This is all to call the freaking nation, to call the population, man. Anyways, giving the immune system a preview and prompting to create antibodies to protect the body. In rare cases, the immune response can result in heart muscle inflammation, though COVID-19 juice-induced instances have mostly been mild. 28 deaths have occurred. So it's been mild, but it killed 28 people. So mild, you know, killed 28 people. Man, this is probably not even a real number, the real statistics they're giving, man. Yo. So, you know, let's see if I want to get any more encephalomyelitis. Yo, all of these things are crazy, yo. Traverse myelitis. Let's see this one. Is a rare neurological condition wherein the spinal cord is inflamed. Oh my God, yo. The objective transverse implies that the spinal inflammation, myelitis, extends horizontally throughout the throughout the cross section of the spinal cord. Yo, that's a horrible thing to happen to you, man. So, yo, I think I'm gonna leave it right there and jump into my last scripture, man. All right, which is Psalms 64. All right, start at 1. Psalms of David, hear my voice, O God. In my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. All right, and by reading from that study, you can tell who the enemies are, the ones that run this freaking world. And it's a certain group of people, I will add, yo. All right? There's many lessons done on that, so I'm not going to get into that right now. Verse 2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Remember how they shamed everyone that were against or even just have concerns, realistic, genuine concerns about what they are putting inside of their body or what you are telling them to put inside of their body. You know? Remember how they shamed people, man. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And you know this is all about Jake, man. It's all about Jake. You know? It's all about Jake being the main target, yo, of all these weapons, these bioweapons, man. That they may, alright, verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? The prophets have seen them, yo. The men, the true men of the Lord, the ones that worship in the spirit and in truth, have seen your snares, yo. And we are declaring them to the world. And now it is being revealed. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yoshai. Your snares are being revealed through your own propaganda machine, yo. Because when people see us bringing it out and they don't want to listen, and then they hear you bring it out, then will they know that a prophet had been among them, yo. And the prophets are among them. Verse 6, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. What a diligent search. Bioweapons, man. This has to be the hardest weapon to achieve, the hardest weapons to make, but they do it diligently, you know. Verse 7, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. Yep, because every news media outlet that was against the truth and shaming people, ridiculing people, saying, oh, it's malinformation, disinformation, it's misinformation. You know, they're conspiracy theories. These same news outlets are telling you now that, you know, maybe you do need to do some research, and it can affect you. You know, it can affect you, have adverse effects and affect you negatively. It can harm you. It can injure you. Those same people, yo, it goes to show you, man. It goes to show you also that both sides are being controlled and manipulated, you know. So you have to watch what you eat, watch the information that you consume. You have to be able to discern it, and the only way to see what to eat is through the lens of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know, the truth being told by his prophets, by his men, the true worshippers, man, of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I got a simple principle, If somebody don't believe in the name, because you want to know how you can tell who's the true worshipper. And this is a simple elimination tactic I use. If somebody don't believe in the name, which is Yahweh, that's the Heavenly Father's name, and Yahushai is only his Holy Son's name, the Savior. Yeah. If persons don't believe in that name, then their information can stay with them. Say, I won't listen to them, So, verse 8 again, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High. For they shall wisely consider of his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him. And all the upright in heart shall glory. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakha Kodash. I hope this lesson was edifying. I know I said a few minutes of truth. I should have said an hour. Alright. Shalom to all the true worshippers out there. We don't have much time left. So keep fighting the good fight. Alright. Never let go. Hold on. Do all of that. All you need to do, man, to stay in the truth. Hold on. The glory, our glory is right around the corner, yo. Our glory is right around the flipping corner, man. And I actually have this right here. Let me just, it's unrelated, but let me just get it since I talked about that, It said about glory. It said, Wisdom of Solomon 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. They say what we're doing is in vain. They say we're wasting our time, we're conspiracy theorists, we're this or that, we're liars, we are the wicked. That's what they say about us, yo. The watchers, the prophets, the persons warning them of what's to come so that they may repent and be converted so that they may be saved. But they don't want that. They choose delusions. All right. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, of our salvation, bro. Of our salvation. They're going to be troubled at it, man. And they're going to have nothing but fear when them chariots come and pick us up, man. And beam we up, man. What a day. Anyways, so far beyond all that they could look for. Yeah, they could never have imagined so that this is the salvation that the scriptures spoke about, man. Alright? So that is what we're waiting for, man. We're gonna end it right there. Once more, let's give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright, shalom.